level 33 to 2 is the second section of level 33 seems to be an empty shopping mall. U/main_force_patrol has been in this area with a thing that looks like a normal dog to a hound, although it is unknown why did he come here. Most of the stores are owned by major corporations from the real world, but usually a few products in stock are empty. Some stores are closed off by a gate that currently has no known way to open. More often than not, the food courts will be empty, but there's a chance that you can come across a food court or store that has a full stock. When you first enter, there's a very low chance that you will encounter a hound, duller, a few death rats, or even a skin stealer. But as you go a dozen miles into the store, the entities, as well as new ones, will start appearing more often. The mall will progressively become more worn down the further you travel. Water will begin appearing to flood the level. The lights will start flickering to the point where they simply won't turn on anymore, and the effect on your mental state will begin getting worse as the mall starts to have mold, plants grow over, and metal starts to corrode. B24, B27, 89, 81, F4, ABC 93, 99, 7, B35, CCD 47, C5B.jpg. Another photo of the corrosion state. The corrosion state when you enter. Top picture, the walls will be entirely clean as well as the tiled floor. The floor is completely dry, lights never flicker, and hounds and duller are very unlikely to encounter. 50 miles in, the corrosion state will activate, causing the walls to appear to have mold on them. A few tiles on the floor are missing, lights flicker every few hours, and you will begin feeling uneasy and feeling constantly watched due to the effect. You might have auditory hallucinations. More and more death rats start to roam the wet floors, and the smiler can now be spotted in darker areas. 100 miles in, parts of wallpaper on the walls will appear to be ripped off. The mold can cover large areas of the wall. The grass starts growing from cracks in the dried parts of the floor. Water starts filling up to 2 inches above the floor. Lights begin flickering every few minutes, giving you a headache. You will feel paranoid even in a safe shelter. Auditory hallucinations will become common, while significantly less often than the aforementioned auditory hallucinations. Visual hallucinations are possible, as well as the chance to spot an unathenic at 200 miles in. Bottom picture, any wallpaper on walls will be ripped off entirely. Mold will appear covering the walls. Moss will hang from the ceiling. The water level will hide now to 2 feet above the floor. Lights will constantly flicker and can turn off and remain that way for several minutes. Effects on the human mind are the equivalent to those in level 6, making you go insane faster depending on your personality, sometimes driving you to suicide. Auditory and visual hallucinations will become commonplace, and there is a very low chance that one of these hallucinations can physically hurt or injure you. Entities, especially in the thecus, death rats and smilers, will be very common this far in as well. 300 miles in, the walls will appear ripped and damaged as a bomb exploded. There will be grasses growing from the floor up to 6 feet high, and the water level will be 5 feet. The lights will be off but will flicker on every few hours. Your sanity will disappear if you don't take sanity pills. The hallucinations can trick your mind and can run into deadly traps, like getting killed by entities. 500 miles in, the floor and lights will be non-existent, but air will be fired from the ground. If you make it this far, the hallucinations can physically injure you. Entities are always waiting up the ceiling. You look up 750 miles in. Fun Bricks 1 found it yesterday, and it's terrible. The walls are pipes. If you look anywhere but forward, there are entities. A monster. Hallucinations are no longer hallucinations. Fires and water from the ground. Ivy everywhere, and I felt like I might die. I could not make it 1,000 miles, and later, an unknown individual reportable went 1,000 miles in. It was described to have 23 foot width, had black voids for walls, with the occasional broken and corroded pipe, an interior that was all simply indescribable chaos. He was later chased back by a group of reportable 271 extremely aggressive entities. He advised to go no further, but attempts are being made to go even further. Today, U/car_CRAFTX decided to go in further and investigate. He says he made it almost 5,000 miles and before flipping somewhere else. He says when you reach 2,000 miles, all technology stops working, and tiles are everywhere except below you. The new walls appear to be made of ancient stone. Vines cover the area from ceiling to floor, and water can be as high as 6 feet. U/scar_craftx says at 5,000 miles, the stone walls turn into dirt, and titles are everywhere, which means you have to explore the level blind. The vines turn into poison ivy. The water is at 10 feet. The faint smell of corrosion is in the remaining air, and the water is filled with dangerous creatures. It is currently not known where U/scar_craftx's whereabouts are. An unknown person has reached 10,000 miles, which is the real end of level 33. After passing 7,500 miles, dirt will become goo. Entities will appear 2 extra times more than normally. After reaching 10,000, you will get into level 34. Survival difficulty chart. First 49 miles survival difficulty. Class 1, safe, secure, minimal entity count 50, 99 miles in survival difficulty. Class 2, unsafe, secure, low entity count 100, 199 miles in survival difficulty. Class 3, unsafe, unsecure, low entity count 200, 299 miles in survival difficulty. Class 4, unsafe, unsecure, medium entity count 300 plus miles survival difficulty. Class 5, unsafe, unsecure, entity infestation, entrances and exits. Entrances, the only known ways are to enter a shopping center or a wall at level 11, go upstairs at level 22, or ram into a support pillar in level 1932. Exits, if you entered from level 11, go back through the doors you entered from. If you came from level 22, go back down the stairs behind you. You can also go to level 45 by entering an orange-themed store. Or, you can go to level 33.1 by going behind the entrance you came from. Or you can no-clip from this level to end up in level 210 or level 1932 if you no-clip through the wall. The other way to exit into level 1932 is to enter a door named Good Old Days. After passing 10,000 miles in Walt, you will be transported to level 30.